Alright, get out of the way. Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, with Jim Ross and with Elijah Burke. And today on Collision or Hit, we gotta get Jim Ross. We're going to hopefully see We're gonna hopefully see the waffle sheet. Shit, stand up! Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Elijah Burke here. And today on Collision or Hit, we are going to see hopefully the lawful sheet deal between Seth Rollins and Mora here today on Collision or Hit. Tony Schiavone says, "You got that right," Jim Ross says. Seth Rollins beat Kenny Omega on Friday Night SmackDown, giving him the right to take on Mora at Halloween Havoc or Evening Madness for the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings. You know, Jim Ross says, "Yeah, you do got." You know, that is true. Elijah Burke says, "It is true, but at the end of the day, I'm not a big follower of Seth Rollins, and I'll tell you why. I'm not really a big follower of Mora either," Elijah Burke says. You know, but I do like how Mora has kept the TWF heavyweight winnings ever since the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings since the 4th month of this year when she beat Maxwell Jacob Friedman. You know, so, and here she is in the ring. And we wonder if we're... Shit! Stand up! Fuck! Alright. And now we have Elijah Burke says all wrestlers, fighters, overstars, whatever you want to call them, they all got a bind falling down the ring, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Yes, they do, Tony Schiavone says. That's always been a bind for any doll to overcome here in the toy wrestling gathering. It's been happening for 30 long years. Dolls will fall down, have been falling down for years, Tony Schiavone said. Yes, they have, Jim Ross says. And they'll probably still go on to fall down the ring time and time again after that. Alright, shit, stand up! Stand up! Alright, Astronomer says, I want to welcome everyone to TWF Collision or Hit. And today we're going to see, you know, today is going to be the lawful signing between Seth Rollins and Mora. And Mora, since you are the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter, I'm going to let you say little things first. I would believe that your lawyers or you had someone look over this sheet before writing your name on it. You should always read on everything. Read everything before saying yes or no to anything. Astronomer says, and Seth Rollins, you beat Kenny Omega on Friday Night SmackDown, giving you the right to fight Mora for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. So I wish I could have a seat here. I wish there was a seat that I could have you both sit on. But as we know, fuck. You know. But you know, sadly, anytime there is a fuck, sadly, anytime that there is a board, come on. Anytime that there is a lawful deal, sadly, there's always someone going through the board. So now, if I can get out of the way without falling over, which is more smoothly said and done in this ring, I'll let you both start. Alright, Mora goes. Shit, I'm gonna fall backwards. I can't stand there. Hasbro hasn't made my doll be able to stand right. Well, Ecliptor says, Ecliptor goes, welcome to our world. Alright, Seth Rollins goes, I know that Mora, I know that you've been a fighting TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. I know you won the winnings earlier this year, back in the 4th month, and you beat a shithead by the name of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who has never been the same ever since you beat him. But at the end of the day, I believe that I will become the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. Hell, I did win it before. I did win the TWF heavyweight winnings before. And I will go on to win it again. Mora, you don't know how far those 2 winnings go back to. You see, the TWF heavyweight winnings goes back to between 93 while with Earthquake. The world heavyweights goes back to 2001 while with Hulk Hogan. So at the end of the day, there is a lot. And I want to put my name on both the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings by the end of this year. Seth Rollins, or Seth freaking Rollins, or whatever you like to call yourself. I know all about you. I know you were a former WWE NXT heavyweight fighter, a 2-time WWE heavyweight fighter, a 4-time WWE Raw tag team fighter, a 2-time WWE Indoor Landed Body fighter, 2-time WWE 4-1 Rights fighter, Gal in the Box winner. You won the Kingly Thunder one year. King of the Ring, no, not. I have been fighting, and hell, you may have even been a former TWF heavyweight fighter. But let me tell you something, Seth Rollins. I have kept my winnings from folks that wanted it. I beat Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I beat Baron Corbin. I even had to beat Drew McIntyre once. I even had to deal with fighting Roman Reigns. And let me tell you, I have nothing to do with the Blood Way or the Blood Row or whatever the fuck they're calling their team. Alright? But I have nothing but utmost onlook for you, Seth Rollins, and I'll tell you why. Because you are a stand-up man. Yes, you may have done some shitty things in the past. Oh yeah, well, all forgiven. And my past isn't so good either. Alright? And I know, Seth Rollins, that at the end of the day, the last time that you fought, I know that at the end of the day, you got 2 holds that are very harmful if you do them. The curve stomp or the side stomp, and the pedigree or the whatever. You got those 2 going for yourself. Well, I got the Hawaii spike. And if I can get that on you, Seth Rollins, it won't care how many winnings you won. It won't care what you did in FCW or what you did in WWE. It won't care what you did in any other wrestling businesses before that. You're going down. Well, just to tell you something, Mora, you're not the first time I ever fought a Disney self. The first Disney self I ever fought was Aladdin, and that was back in 2020 YL, when Crovid was the bullshit thing going on at the time. And no, I didn't win that night. So it's not the first time I ever fought a Disney self or a Walt Disney self. But I have this thing that on Halloween Havoc or Hallow Evening Madness, NXT TWF 1, I will be, by tomorrow, on the 1st of the 11th month, I will be the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight Fighter. Astronema, Ecliptor. There, I wrote my name down. Alright, Astronema says, we have it now. It's now going to be Mora, from Disney's Mora, fighting Seth Rollins from WWE for the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings. This week on NXT Halloween Havoc or Hallow Evening Madness or Hallow Night Madness. For the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings, I am out. Shit. Fuck! Oh, man. Well, I lost her thing. Well, we do know Astronema lost her flying ring. You know. And she needs to get that back on, Tony Schiavone says. And hopefully Seth Rollins and Mora both being baby Lears, Tony Schiavone says. They're not going to throw each other through the board, Tony Schiavone says. Well, I hope not, Jim Ross says. But we've seen a lot of these lawful ridings where the heel wrestler will beat up on the baby lair wrestler. Or fighter, or overstar, whatever you want to call them, Jim Ross said. Elijah Burke says, I sure hope this works. Alright, Mora says. I just want to let you know, before our match, before our fight, next Tuesday, NXT, I want to say, let the greater woman or greater man win. Same here, Mora. Let the greater woman or the greater man win. Let the greater doll win. They shook hands. They're out of the ring now. Well, we do know one thing. I tell you one thing right now, Elijah Burke says, some folks might think that it was a letdown that we didn't have a match or a fight here today on Collision or Hit, and it was a lawful deal riding between Mora and Seth Rollins for the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings. But sometimes you only have so much time to do the things you got to do. Yes, we got endless time. We can make this upload as long as we want to. But do we really want to do that? But anyway, I don't like Seth Rollins. I don't like Mora, Tony, or Jim. I think at the end of the day, I think both of them, one of them's going to win, but I don't like either one of them. Alright. Take it away, Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone says. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. I'm going to be talking with Mora here today on Collision or Hit. Alright, Mora. We just saw you and Seth Rollins have your lawful signing, and that now means that your match is going to happen next NXT Tuesday, Halloween Havoc or Hallow Evening Madness. Yeah, you know, I could lose my TWF Heavyweight or World Heavyweight winnings to Seth Rollins, or Seth freaking Rollins as WWE calls him now. And yeah, it could happen. I could get curve stomped, Michael Cole. I could get whatever done to me. Or I could hit him with my Hawaii spike, or my spike. He could go down, just like so many other wrestlers, fighters, overstars went down before him. So I don't know what's going to happen on NXT. I don't know what's going to happen if I'm still going to be the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter come come the 11th, the first of the 11th month. Well, Mora, I do know one thing. You have been a fighting TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. And if you win or lose, you will still always have my onlook. Well, thank you, Michael Cole. Well, that's our talk with Mora, or however you say that Hawaiish borrowed name. Back to you, Tony Schiavone and Michael. Back to you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Michael Cole, for talking with Mora here today on Collision or Hit. And that's all the time we got here for Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Elijah Burke. We hope you like Collision or Hit, and we'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw, or Alone Day Night Raw.